Dr. Pennicino and Dr. Biagi, thank you for being here with us tonight. Why is constitutional law important for democracies in transition?
Well, constitutional law is relevant as a high number of countries around the world have adopted constitutions as a consequence of transition from an authoritarian regime to some kind of democratic regime, or as a result of post-colonial status. So it becomes really important to analyze their constitutions as compared to our constitutions, or better, the constitutions that are adopted in consolidated democracies in the 19th and in the 20th century.
Yeah, I also think that the countries which are now undergoing a process of transition to democracy can draw inspiration and can learn some important lessons from countries which experienced a transition to democracy in the past, and in particular they can look at the constitution that were adopted in the past.
How can constitutions be amended to minimize the problems in the electoral process?
To minimize the problems of the electoral cycle, constitutions can be amended in order to include an independent electoral watchdog body. They can also entrench the electoral system, the limitation to the mandates of different official posts. They can, for example, include the creation of an independent electoral controversy body that can solve all the electoral controversies that may arise after election. But in very general terms, nothing that can be written on a piece of paper will guarantee genuine and free and fair election. And this is due to the fact that election is, on the one hand, the first step of a newborn democracy, but on the other hand is also a highly political event that requires some kind of legitimacy from the population, which will then experience the results of the electoral process itself.
What trends do you see in the new constitutions emerging in the Arab world?
I think that one of the most interesting trends characterizing the Arab world was the emergence and the strengthening of constitutional courts, and also the reinforcement of the separation of powers. This was the case, for example, in Tunisia. This was the case, for example, also in Morocco, and to a certain extent it was the case also in Jordan. So I think that this was extremely important because it created a real discontinuity with the past.